All right, let's talk about the CM Punk drama. And no, I'm not 8 months late to the whole thing. This is not Brawl Out we're talking about. This is a whole new CM Punk debacle going on today. I wish I had my CM Punk shirt. I can't find it, but if you guys don't know, I'm a CM Punk fan. He's my all-time favorite wrestler. I don't support all of his actions blindly, but he's my favorite wrestler. So I try to evenly look at both sides before I just say, oh, CM Punk is right, CM Punk is wrong, that kind of stuff. When it comes to the Brawl Out situation, CM Punk was entirely in the wrong. As hurt and broke up as he may have been, it was not the right call, nor was it professional to go on YouTube, a live platform, and berate the executive vice presidents of the company and embarrass your boss in the process, calling out multiple coworkers and just going on an unhinged rant. Because in the outside world, if this were any other job, you would have been fired right away. If I would have did the same thing at my job where I started talking shit about management and my coworkers I don't like, I would have been fired. But then to go backstage and start a fight because it was reported that CM Punk threw the first punch, again, would have been fired in the real world. CM Punk comes from a place of privilege because he is the top guy in AEW. With the privilege of being the top guy, you can get away with a whole lot of shit that someone like Wardlow, someone like, I don't know, let's say Colton Gunn would not have gotten away with. I bet you if it was anybody else in the company not named Moxley, Omega, or the Bucks, or Hangman Page, or Chris Jericho, they would have gotten fired. If this were WWE, I mean, if this was the E, that shit wouldn't have happened in the first place. And again, if it did, he would have been fired. But again, coming from a place of privilege, and he doesn't really care. If CM Punk would have been fired right then and there, he would have walked right into another company's door. Would have been WWE. I highly doubt WWE would have hired him right away, if not at all. But he could go anywhere else, make a bunch of money, and still do the same thing. It's not right, but that's the privilege of being well-liked and making the most money in the company. You have a lot more wiggle room to fuck shit up and not get a lot of repercussions because of it. Also bear in mind that the Elite and the Bucks didn't get fired, so it's a little bit stickier to try and let go of CM Punk, even though he still did worse. But again, that's not what I'm talking about. I just want to do a little rehash of that real quick to kind of set the stage for what just happened. So this all stems from a post that Dave Meltzer made or someone made regarding what Dave Meltzer said on his Figure 4 online message board. It goes, do you know why they didn't advertise Punk versus Mox longer and why it had short bill? Because Punk agreed to it. Then AEW got a legal letter saying he wasn't down with it and wasn't doing it. And if they didn't know, he'd come until Tony put his foot down. There are a lot of nice things I can say about him, and you can absolutely argue his point on Moxley was correct, but you can't argue he willingly did what he did, was asked in that scenario. What he was asked in that scenario. You know what I meant. Basically, the Cliff Note version of that is that CM Punk did not want to lose to Jon Moxley here, despite being injured. Tony Khan put his foot down, and CM Punk agreed to it. That's Dave Meltzer's story. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Dave Meltzer, they don't trust Dave Meltzer. You can have whatever viewpoint on him that you want. That's just what he said. Do I trust Dave Meltzer? I don't trust a lot of people. I don't take everything Dave Meltzer says for gospel, but if he says something or reports something, I'll look at it. Then I'll go to Fightful to see if they reported the same thing. Then I'll go to Wrestling 8 to see if they reported the same thing. I like to get multiple viewpoints before I go with, oh yeah, Dave Meltzer said this. Same thing for everybody else, because people could be wrong. But that's what Dave Meltzer said once again. CM Punk made a comment on his Instagram story that he deleted. This is what he said. Sigh. I wasn't cleared to come back to wrestle yet. Then the plan was to wrestle at the pay-per-view. I listened to Moxley's Rocky 3 idea. I explained how I'd never seen a Rocky movie. Now let me stop you right there. CM Punk never seeing a Rocky movie? That's all I kept seeing yesterday too. Honestly and truly, I've never seen a Rocky movie either. Creed 3 was awesome though. Continuing on. And I thought the idea sucked, but if that's what the boss wanted to do, whatever. He said he wouldn't lose to me. I'd never experienced someone refusing to lose to me. I just laughed. I asked Tony if that's what he wanted. He said yes. He's the boss, so I said okay, but I needed to be cleared first. They kept saying that it could just be a squash and that I didn't need to be cleared. I scoffed at that. My health is more important. Dave Meltzer's a liar. Jericho is a liar and a stooge. There wasn't a plan in place. There were plans in place, but plans always change. Punk is always going to put his health first. So Cliff Notes on that. Rather than Punk saying he refuses to lose, now Moxley is saying he refuses to lose. And on top of that, CM Punk is also not cleared to wrestle yet. But both Moxley and Tony Khan said, well, we'll just do a squash match and you'll be fine. Punk agreed to it because Tony Khan is the boss. Which both sides of the story confirmed that Tony Khan wanted to do it and CM Punk agreed to it. The conflicting part of the story is somebody refused to lose. Somebody is lying. Now, I don't know who to believe. That's all about who you guys believe, because it's he say, she say at that point. Again, the whole refusing to lose thing, it's like delusions of grandeur. If Moxley refused to lose to CM Punk, that's pretty scummy. And if CM Punk refused to lose to Moxley, that's equally as scummy. But at the end of the day, they both still lost to each other, so it doesn't matter. The real point that matters is if CM Punk wrestled injured despite him consulting Tony Khan, and Tony Khan said, you're going to wrestle anyway. That's a health violation. AEW can get in big trouble for that. CM Punk to go out and try to embarrass his boss again by saying that Tony Khan does not care for his health is burning a bridge. There was reports that CM Punk wants to come back. He's trying to make his way back into the company. If you're trying to do that and you out here saying that your boss don't give a fuck about your health, I don't know how you plan to get that done. So again, I don't think CM Punk really cares. The biggest thing to come out of this is that if CM Punk worked that hurt, especially after letting Tony Khan know that is a health violation, AEW can get in trouble for that if CM Punk wanted to sue them. Because at that point, he could sue them. I don't know how much proof he would have, but he could. Now, this might play into why CM Punk has not been fired. Because if CM Punk has that kind of information to carrot dangle over AEW, like, yeah, you remember this time that you forced me to wrestle even though I didn't want to? Yeah, that's a lawsuit. That could probably be why AEW does not want to depart ways just yet. That's if they truly want to let go of him. People say, oh, it's because CM Punk's their big star. Like, yeah, he's a big star and all, but they don't need CM Punk. They've been fine without him before CM Punk came in, and they're fine without him right now. They get a big boom every September and October, and that's going to happen with or without CM Punk there this year. Real meat and potatoes of this whole situation is that CM Punk made a whole unhinged rant unwarranted. Did not need to even go into all that. He could have just ignored Dave Meltzer, but instead he wanted to call him a liar, Jericho a liar. The whole Jericho thing, Jericho sticking his nose in information and a situation does not involve him. Another delusion of grandeur. With the whole CM Punk thing, is CM Punk in the right? I think he's in the right if this whole him working hurt thing is actually true. Because he could also sue for trauma because that happened to him in WWE. Again, health violation. CM Punk would be right. CM Punk, again, going about it the wrong way. Because this didn't need to happen. But where do you guys sit on this whole situation? Comment down below, let me know.